Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the real estate entrepreneur, Omar Alfaro. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What's happening, Michael? What's up, everybody?
Hey, man, something we've been doing first video for a couple of months now is just an update on your market. Remind folks of what your market is and then what's been happening in the last week or so.
I'm in the Southern California market, which is the high desert, which is Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley, Phelan, on the way to Vegas from Southern California. You'll pass all those cities. And our market is, a lot of sellers are canceling because they can't get their numbers. A lot of sellers are reducing their prices because their agent didn't tell them the reality of the market. And they let them still believe that it was 7-8 months ago, maybe even 5 months ago prices. So we are now under, I think we're flirting right at 1,500 houses. When we hit 1,700 2 weeks ago, then we dropped. And I have a feeling that we're going to drop some more. But the biggest number that I see is cancellations and people removing themselves off the market, buyers not buying because they're literally, there's two things that are happening. Some buyers are trying to lock in right now before it goes up again. Other buyers are saying, F this, I'm out, right? Because if we are going to hit 8.5% for sure, that I'm sure we could agree on. And it's going to really stop the transactional aspect of real estate. There's still going to be deals that are done. Yes, buyers are still going to buy, but definitely not what we've seen. And it's an interesting time, even in our market. I spoke to one of my good friends. He's a builder, and he went from a 530, 540 new construction, like clockwork, right? Dropping it to 470. And it was on the market for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like 15 showings, no offers. And then he got one offer that's asked for closing costs and he took it under the 470. So that alone right there is a $70,000 difference from new construction. If new construction's coming down, mind you, nobody's lived in this home, brand new shit. Everything's great, solar panels, everything, right? No one's lived there. And if they're dropping to 470, that means resale is going to also be dropping in our little market there. What was 470 resale is probably 430, 440, now. So It's interesting. It's an interesting time.
Yeah, so you have a playlist on this channel. I believe it's just called Omar. People can go back and look at our past week conversations. This is what I remember. So if we go back to kind of July, where I think the real estate market changed, right? July 20th is the date I called. We saw sellers come out of nowhere, right? And I think we raced up to almost 1,900, right? And you and I were talking about
crazy.
Could we break 2,000?
Exactly.
Right. And then what happened is rates started to shoot up. Some people bought, which took stuff down, but we started to really see as we rolled into August and September, we really started to see who needed to sell versus who wanted to sell, which I've always called wish pricing.
Right.
You started to see people cancellations, right? I'm not talking about cancellation of buyers. I'm talking about cancellations of listings, which we hadn't seen for years, right? We went from nothing to dozens every week is what I recall. And now where at one moment we were talking about getting to 2,000, now we're under 1,500. And oh, by the way, we're heading into the winter, which are the slowest months, right? This buyer demand. And so we're seeing buyer destruction and seller destruction like we have never seen before. Is that fair?
It's fair. Buyer destruction, like spot on. Seller destruction of, not getting the price they wanted. And in essence, why would they even try if they're going to be buying at 8.5%?
And most
when they
sellers
got a 4,
also,
when they got a 5.
Most sellers are buyers, right? They sell this, they got to buy it, whether it's in your area or out of state. Most sellers are still a buyer of something else. And this is why I think supply destruction has been so underappreciated and why I think you're seeing lots of cancellations now. I think there's more and more people, Omar, that are just going to say, I'm out. I'll come back in the spring. this market's nuts. It's wild. We could be in a recession. I'm going to stay one more year for the holidays. Maybe we'll list in March. But I think that's a decision people are saying.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, it is 100%. That is what people are saying. And I don't know what quarter two or the end of quarter one is going to look like next year. I mean, I don't. Granted, do we see it going to 10%? Probably not. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Wow. There's more and more.
What do you
for the
think?
first. So as I sit here today, it's hard for me to imagine 10% owner occupied residential loans, best credit down payment. But can I imagine? Absolutely. It's possible, but not probable, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
Right.
As I sit here today, that could all change, tomorrow, right? I reserve the right to change my opinion every day. But as I sit here today on the 18th of October of 2022, I don't see 10% owner occ. Could we get 10% investor? Yeah.
All freaking day, all day.
All day. Yeah. Owner occ though.
Loans right now are bridge loans right now are freaking 9.5. Like
I got
flirting at 9.2, 9.5.
Yeah, I got a non-QM lender that called me yesterday and said my rates went up a full point.
Dude.
Dang.
Hey, and it makes things not numbers don't make sense. I mean, your payment, your holding costs, everything else, not unless you're getting a 2-year interest only where you know that in 2 years, this is all you're banking on is cash flow now plus refinancing when the rates adjust, and maybe they do adjust to a 5 and we lock in at a 9. Like I could see that happening, but I don't know.
Yeah. So as we buckle up and we talk about your market for the rest of the year, again, I think inventory falls, like we're at, let's call it 1,500. I don't, remind me where we were like in January. It was like 600 or something. Cause again, it was really, it were like 800. Where were we back then?
It was like 700 homes in January.
All right. So again,
it was retarded.
I don't think we get to that level.
No.
Right. I think that's abnormally low, but
right.
Could we get to 12, 1100? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And we get to 11 or 1200. That just means the properties that are on the market are moving. Are moving.
Days on market explode. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing 50, 60 days on the market on the average.
And that's exactly what's coming. Again, we are seeing such supply and demand destruction. The variable to watch is days on market. We are going to see days on market, which I think bottomed in your market from memory, like at 9 days. It's going to be like 60 days by the end of the year.
And you know what's crazy is that we're going to need you're going to need to take the first offer you get.
Yeah.
Because you're going to wait for it a little bit and then you're going to counter. And I don't know. I mean, I'm in this boat right now and I've taken every single offer I've received and, not counter and just say, you know what, that'll work. Because
we're good. Let's get it off the books.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. At this point, it just, keep moving.
Yeah, it's about getting smaller and watching your burn rate and all of that. So yeah, if somebody is interested in joining your team because you're investing in your team, looking to understand what's going on in your markets, how do you want them to reach out?
Guys, reach out to me at my IG at Invest with Omar. Invest your time, invest some knowledge, and you're definitely going to expand what you know for sure.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks so much.
Thank you.